Hi there, so I thought I'm just going to make this quick video looking at some of the books that I use within my counselling practice. And the reason for this is because there are a number of resources out there, and this is just a way of me looking at the books I use most often. I use quite a lot of books with my clients. Sometimes I use the books to refer to clients and say to them this might be a good book for you to purchase. Sometimes I'll use some of the tasks and the information from the books and give photocopies, and at other times I will actually just mention the books to clients or create exercises from the books. So I'm just going to look at 4 today. I may decide to do another video where I look at some others, but these are the ones that I use quite a lot actually. So the first one is created by Relate. Relate obviously specialise in couples counselling, so the reason I bought this book was because I felt that it was a good resource, because they're the experts obviously. The book's called Stop Arguing, Start Talking. Hopefully you can see that. What I like about the book is that it talks about how couples can communicate in a better way. It gives like a plan really of how they can communicate. A lot of reasons couples come for counselling is because of communication issues. So it's not what they're saying, it's how they're saying it, when they're saying it, and bringing up the past, kind of pushing people's buttons, pushing each other's buttons. Because if you're in a relationship, obviously you know what your partner's weakness is. So this book talks about how you can avoid some of these like pitfalls and how you can communicate more effectively so it doesn't always end up in an argument. So anyone that is a counsellor or anyone that's probably struggling with relationship issues, I would say this is a really good book for you to maybe check out really. So that's the first one. The second book that I use quite a lot is called How to Lift Depression Fast. Now, what I like about this book, it's by Joe Griffin and Ivan Terrell. I use this book quite a lot. I use it regularly. Not only does it give the signs and symptoms, where it actually talks about if you may struggle, if you may have depression, so it gives you a checklist of some of the signs and symptoms that may suggest you have depression, but it also recommends that you go to your GP, so it's not saying that they're the experts, they're saying, you know, in their clinical opinion, they feel you may have depression if you go through that list. But what I also like about it is it gives tips on how to lift depression fast, because that's the title, and it also gives little exercises. So I use this quite regularly. I also lend this to my clients sometimes and ask them to go through the list, and then they can make a decision whether they want to then go and speak to their GP. This is for people who are not always sure if they have got depression or not. So I find this a really useful book. I do refer to it quite a lot actually. So the third book that I think is a really good book, I mean I came across this book because it was recommended, it was you know, by other counsellors, and it's called Rescuing the Inner Child by Penny Parks. It's a really heavy, emotionally heavy book in terms of it has real cases of children, and they're adults now but they were abused as children, and it goes into detail of that abuse and the exercises that were used with the now adults but they were abused as children. Penny Parks is an expert in the field because she talks about her own personal experiences, but she also gives really good exercises. I've used a few of the exercises in this book. One of those is, you know, how adults who were abused as children can write letters to various people and almost give themselves closure. I do like this book a lot, but I would only recommend it if you kind of want to also do training and get more information about this kind of abuse, and because you can, by reading the book and then just going on to like use the tasks, I think could be damaging as well. So what you want to do is use it as a guide, but then go on and do probably additional research training and get more skills in the area. But it's a really, really good book. I do find it useful and I do use it a lot. So finally, the last book that I use quite regularly, if you're familiar with the different types of counselling, then there's an approach called cognitive behavioural therapy. So some people are trained just in that approach. I'm not. I'm trained integratively, so I work using different methods. But this is a fantastic book called Mind Over Mood, and this book is CBT, so it's cognitive behavioural therapy orientated. What's good about the book is it gives, I mean, I could go on about this book for another 10 minutes, but it gives easy to copy worksheets to diagnose what mood people are in. It gives examples of how you can lift your mood. It gives techniques and different approaches, and I just find it's a really, really good tool. I use it probably most out of all the books I've mentioned, and I would say that it's definitely, if you're a counsellor, it's something that you should invest in, because it's a really, really good book. I forgot to tell you who it's by. It's by Dennis Greenberger and Christine A. Podesky. This is a book that's well known to most counsellors anyway, because it's on like most reading lists, but it is a valuable book to buy. So that's just a quick snapshot really of 4 books that I find really useful. There's lots of other books out there, but if you are like interested in kind of expanding your experience as a counsellor, or if you're just interested in finding different approaches and solutions, then you might want to go out and buy these books or others. So I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. Bye.